Okay, hi everybody. I decided to separate the integer video from the solving equations video because some of you don't need the refresher on integers. Um, let's see, I'm going to start by drawing a number line, okay? This helps you the best whenever you're trying to do arithmetic with integers. Of course, in the number line, that middle number is 0. That's the bridge between the negative values and the positive values. If you think about, you have nothing and somebody all of a sudden gives you a whole dollar. Now you know you can break that dollar down into smaller parts. Half of a dollar would be the 50 cent. A quarter of the dollar would be a quarter. So I think what I'm trying to get at on the number line, you've got these numbers that represent the whole value. And that's what you call an integer. So this is $1. If you increase in integers, you would have $2, $3, $4, $5, and it'll keep going. These are whole values. They're not decimal values. They're not parts of something. It's a whole amount. It's almost like you can count it like you're counting on your fingers. But interesting, the integers, which actually the Latin root of integers is where it talks about whole, includes the negative values also. So just like you can have a whole dollar, you can owe somebody a whole dollar, and it just keeps going further into the negatives. Think about a whole value. It's like an integer would be having the whole pizza. Okay. We're going to do some operations here. We're going to deal with addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We're going to start off with addition. All right. If you haven't already started, I would recommend this might be something you want to write down if you were struggling with integers, and definitely keep it with you because it's something that will carry you through when you go to 9th grade. So for addition, there's two things, because integers represents positive values and it represents negative values. So with addition, we're going to talk about adding a positive and adding a negative. I'm going to take my picture off on this. All right. So for adding a positive, let's start off with some examples you probably know. 2 plus 5. Well, when you add you're adding a positive value, it's increasing. It's like increasing money in your bank account or something or other. You got $2 and you deposit $5 into the account. You're adding to your value, which winds up being 7. But let's say that you are, the opposite integer of that 2 would be -2. Okay? Let's say you are in a negative, like you owe somebody something. You owe somebody $2 and you give them $5. Well, you don't owe them anything anymore. As a matter of fact, they've got some extra money, because part of that 5 is to pay off that debt. So you actually you increase their value by 3. If you notice that these two right here, this was a positive and you were adding another positive value, so you would just add these together like you guys have been doing for a long time. But in this case, with the negative, you have to, if these signs are, in this case it's different, you have to cancel out that debt before you can go into that positive value. So in this case, you wind up subtracting the 5 from the 2 to get the 3, basically. And you probably can flip this around. You can take that 5, which I'm going to show you over here when we do the adding and negative. Another example here, let's say we've got -7 plus 5. Well, in this case, whenever you add 5 to it, you're still going to be in debt because you're only canceling out -5 of that. So whenever 7 minus 5 is 2, but you're still in debt. Notice in this one, you are paying more than what you owe. But in this one, you owe more than what you're paying. So it stays negative. There you go. Can y'all see that? All right, and those are good enough examples for you. So kind of the takeaway from this is that if you're adding a positive to a negative number, you would subtract these two numbers and you're taking the sign of the value that's further away from 0. So like -7 is like way over here. But 5 is a little bit closer to 0. So whenever you subtract these two numbers, you're going to be at -2. Let's go over to adding a negative. So let's say you're at 2, but you're adding a -5. So you are adding some debt. In this case, you're at 2, you're adding some debt, so you're actually adding some money to owe. Or it's almost like you used a credit card. So now you owe money. But you have some money in the bank. In this case, it decreases your value by 5. So you wind up with -3. Okay? But let's say we've got -2 plus -5. You already have debt. Now you're going to add some more debt. Well, guess what? You're still in debt. But this time you're in the combination of both of those. Let's try 7 plus -5. So you got $7 in the bank, and you're going to add a debt of $5. That's not bad because you're not adding a debt that's greater than what you have. So you're going to stay in the positive. So you don't write a negative up here, but you subtract these numbers and you get 2. So basically you only have $2. Notice the difference with these. In this one, you were adding less debt than what you have. In this one, you were adding more debt than what you have. So the answer stays negative. In both cases right here, you subtracted and you took the sign of the number that was further away from 0. In this case right here, similar to this one, you're adding negative numbers right here, so you stay in a negative. Here you were adding positive values, so you stay in the positive. Okay, I'm hoping these will help you with the addition part. Our next part is subtraction. And I know with a lot of you guys, you probably remember me talking about subtraction as subtraction is another way of just adding a negative. Well, I thought about that some more, and it's a little bit deeper than that. So let's start off with 2 minus 5. You're taking away 5. So I like to think of this more as you've got $2 in the bank and you're withdrawing 5, which is not technically you're not supposed to do that because you're taking away more than what you have, and it puts you in debt. So So if you're taking away more than what you have, you're going to be in debt by however much you took over what you have. But if you got $7 in the bank and you take away $5, you're okay, because you will have some money left over. Let's say you already owe some money. This is kind of like having a credit card. You already have a balance where you owe $2 and you go buy something else for $5. So you're going to take away $5 where you're in a -2 and you're taking away $5. Well, there's nothing to take, so it's just going to put you more in a -7. So if you notice with these, like in this case, you had to 5 take away 2 is 3, but you're in a negative. Here, you've got some, so you're not taking everything away, so you subtract. But here, you don't have anything to take away because you're already in the negative. So all you're able to do is decrease that debt by 5 more. So when you subtract 5, you're just adding more debt, -7. So this is the part where sometimes I say that it's basically like adding a negative, because remember, 2 minus 5 is the same as up here where it says 2 plus a -5. You're getting the same answer. Do y'all see that? The 7 minus 5 right here, the 7 plus -5 is 2, same answer. The -2 minus 5, again, you're in debt, you're taking away some more debt. You don't have any debt. I mean, you're not in the positive here, so you're just going to be further in debt. This is the same as right here. Okay? But what if you are, this is a special situation. What if you are subtracting a negative? This is a tricky one. So let's say you have, let's start off with owing somebody. You owe somebody $7. And your buddy comes along and says, hey, I want to help you out. I want to take away your debt of $5. So he wants to take away the fact that you owe $5. Well, if he takes away $5 of what you owe, you're only left owing $2. Y'all hear it? You're taking away a debt. What if you are owing $5? Again, in the same thing, you're taking away a debt. You have the -5, you're taking away this same amount. Guess what? You're balanced. Now these might look familiar. Interestingly, you see that -7 minus -5 looks just like, similar to me, -7 plus 5, which is -2. So think about it. How will somebody take away your debt? Well, they will pay the $5, which is actually adding 5. Let's say you owe $2 and you want to take away $5 of debt. Well, you don't have $5 of debt here. You only have $2 of debt. So if you're taking away $5 of debt, you're basically, you got 3 in the positive. So that is my take on subtracting a negative. These are basically just, to me, they're the same thing as adding a positive value. So subtracting a negative is like adding a positive. Subtracting a positive is like adding a negative. So I'm going to point that direction for this, and I'm going to point that direction for that. So if you are subtracting a positive number, it's just like adding a negative number. If you are subtracting a negative number, it's just like adding a positive number. And this is the evidence right here. So again, if you don't have this written down, write it down. It'll help you out. This is addition and subtraction. Let's go to multiplication and division, which is going to be a lot quicker. Hi! Multiplication and division. Y'all ready? All right. Multiplication and division of integers is fairly easy. And actually, in Khan Academy, there are some awesome videos that help you understand what's going on when you multiply and divide by negative numbers, or including negative numbers. So let's take a simple 2 times 3. So that's basically saying you got two groups of 3. So that's the same thing as saying 3 plus 3, which is 6. And I'm kind of using that Khan Academy video to help you with that. But let's say you've got 2 times negative 3. Well, remember, this was two groups of 3's. This is two groups of negative 3's. So that's just saying negative 3 plus negative 3. When you add a negative plus a negative, you get another negative. So negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. Y'all see that? But what if you are multiplying two negatives? Well, that is telling you to, here it's telling you to take, it's negative 2. So you're taking away two groups of negatives. So negative 2, taking away a negative 2, taking away a negative 2. Okay? I'll put a plus up there. This is going to help you out a little bit more. So this, taking away negative 2, if you remember from the last part, is just like you're adding the value. You're taking away a debt, so you're basically adding 2. So that's adding 2, and that's adding 2. So ultimately, that's going to equal 4. Okay. The big takeaway from this, if you notice, is that if you're multiplying and the signs are the same, your answer is positive. If you're multiplying and the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If you're multiplying and the signs are different, the answer is negative. Y'all see it? If we wrote, what if the first number was negative and the second number was positive? Well, remember, this part right here is basically what we're doing. We are taking away two groups of 3. Taking away two groups of 3. Y'all see that? So negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. Bam. All right. Division kind of works the same way. Let's see. For division, let's go with 4 divided by 2. Pretty simple. If you divide 4 by 2, you get half of 4 is 2, right? If you have 4 and you want to divide it by a negative 2, So this one right here started off with dividing by 2 is saying how many sets of 2 are in 4. There's 2 of them because you can do 2 plus 2 to get 4. This one is asking how many negative sets of 2 are there in 4. Well, there's negative 2. But if you got negative 4 divided by negative 2, how many negative sets are there? 2. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? So if you notice, and if we write these as fractions, you'll see 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4 negative 2. If one of these is negative, then that whole value is negative. So that's negative 2. This one, oops, that's a 4. And this one, both of these values are negative. So you get a positive. Okay, that's all I have with multiplication and division. You've got to pay attention to whether or not the value is positive or negative, and then follow from there. I hope this helps you out. Please go to Khan Academy and please work on some of those practices. It'll help you out a tonsies. All right. Let me show my face for you right quick. Again, go to Khan Academy. I've assigned them to you and just practice them. And it's basically work from 7th grade. But it'll help you out a ton. The more confident you are with your addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, you're going to be so much better, so much more confident, and math won't feel like a struggle to you. So if you need any help from me, you know how to get up with me. Just please, 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 please practice in Khan Academy if you can. And if you need any help, let me know. I love y'all again. I miss you. Happy Tuesday. Have a good day.